When I'm walking down the street.
I do want to say to Donnie and many of you in this room that over a very long career in this city, all of you have helped me and my colleagues tell the truth and to try to tell.
Get my head up.
I'm from South Carolina, so I just
Look at Donnie.
What does this event mean to you, Miss Peggy Moss?
Oh, my heart.
Happy 20th anniversary.
My heart is about loving up on my sisters. Do you know what it feels like to have your sisters in the room? Donnie.
Shine through. Dare to be you, dare to be me, and dare to be different and unique. I'm gonna be the best me I can be by letting His glory shine through. I am beautiful, I am blessed, but not just what you see in the flesh.
The doctor lived next door to the janitor to the reverend and the lawyer. We were together. Now we're just so high and mighty that you create stress for your society because you don't like poor black folks either. That's a health problem. Get yourself together so I can stop being taking care of geriatric people and get back to pediatrics. I thank you, Donnie, for all you've done. Let's keep doing it all and more.
First name's Donnie, last name's Glover. Entered the winner for the long haul, baby. My goodness. It's Friday the 13th. Who knew? Bless the Lord, oh my soul, and all that is within me. Bless His holy name. It's a beautiful day in the neighborhood. Thank you, Lord, for another day, another work week that we can put under our belt for 2023. The second week, the second work week is done. Yay, it's Friday. Friday. We had a remarkable Black Wall Street Awards last night. Lord have mercy. And many thanks to the various voices that were in the room. So Deborah Keller came out. Deborah Keller is the board chair, if I'm not mistaken, for the Greater Baltimore Urban League, Greater Baltimore Black Chamber of Commerce, and a very vibrant person here in the city of Baltimore, Kendrick Tillman, who is also with the Greater Baltimore Black Chamber. He came out. Kendrick has gone through some challenging times, and we wanted to encourage them both as this Maryland General Assembly kicks off. Our business leaders are very important. Who else was in the room? Oh, Donnie Moses was in the room. BPD. I got to get this right. Farrell, go clean the glasses for me. You gonna do that for me? You gotta make yourself useful assistant. Donnie Moses was in the house, brought out his wife, his moms, and his daughter. 3 generations came to celebrate Donnie Moses. Baltimore Police Department, also very active in our community. Paul Taylor, director of the Mayor's Office of Women and Minority Business, came out, as was Sean Stinnett. Sean works with the Main Street programs. Speaking of Main Streets, Barry's by Keisha. Got a chance to meet Keisha. Barry's by Keisha. And come to find out her husband is a Sandtown man. My homeboy. They were in the house. Many people were in the house last night. You should have saw me ducking COVID. In the name of the Lord. We pray it was a safe event. We started off with prayer, as always. I know if you start with prayer and end with prayer, And you'll be all right. We'll be all right. Kendrick Lamar said, "We gonna be all right." Who else was in the house? Shu Smith. Shu has a big event coming up Monday on Martin Luther King Jr. Day. Dr. Martin Luther King's national holiday this Monday. Is that right? Yeah. And he'll be opening the Communiversity. Make sure we introduce him to people like Attorney Robert DeShield. I don't know if I got a chance to introduce him to Attorney Lisa Hodges. She was in the house. Tony Randall. Tony Randall, his daughter Mika Randall, and the grandson, 19-year-old young man, was in the house. Of course, Tony Randall and Mika and the grandson, they run Next Phase Cafe down at 112 East Lexington Street. They did a little plug. Michael Randolph, what it is. Howard's, Florida down there. And make sure you support Next Phase Cafe. We try to stay close to our Black restaurants. They provide a very dear service, optimal places to have our Black Wall Street events. I'm really proud of the next generation of young business people, young entrepreneurs, 30 and up, who have come out, who are participating. Keisha's Barry's by Keisha, you know, to see young couples, Black young couples in Baltimore, growing their families, getting married, growing their businesses. Barry's by Keisha have been not only on my desk and in my tummy, but also Barack Obama's. There was a gentleman there. Well, let me tell you who else was there. P.M. Smith's daughter was there. We gave her, did we give her an award? Yes. And I talked about how P.M. Smith comes from Northeast Baltimore all the way over to Pennsylvania Avenue and witnesses, testifies, has song and praise. And one member of a church on Pennsylvania Avenue said, well, we come out. I'm not saying you don't, but when P.M. Smith and them come out, they come out. I'll tell you who else was in the room. Juanita Bass from Macio's. They were in the house. So let me see what happened to my guests. All kinds of technical challenges that our people go through. But I understand. I'm going to have to take an L on this one because I know I did what I was supposed to do. Big ups to these sponsors. Do check out these sponsors. Salvation Army. They're trying to figure it out. So we'll take that as an L. Let me tell you who else was in the house last night, and then I'll get to what I want to talk about today. Victor Clark came out. Oh, I was telling you, Mr. Henry Baines' grandson, Brandon Baines, came out. Very nice. Brandon Baines. Henry Baines, of course, is supermarket titan. And his grandson is now in the real estate. Good morning.
Good morning. Now, you know, I did not know that this was going to be
we live.
StreamYard. Donnie, I'm a woman here. I'm going to do StreamYard. I was thought maybe it was just audio. Good morning, Donnie Glover.
You fine. You all happy for.
It's so good to see you.
To God be the glory.
Always, always to God be the glory, Donnie. That's where it all comes from. Everything.
How long have we known each other?
Oh my gosh! I guess I came across the Bay, and I think oh gosh, 19 years ago, as a political appointee of the Early Steel administration. That's how I came across the Bay from Lower Shore, Wacomico County. And I had worked for a while in the Republican Party down in Wacomico County. You know, that's where the power base is. Republicans, Eastern Shore, and then up in the mountains, and you know, so and I just got to know Michael. I mean, many a time it was just the two of us in a room together. So after the election, I campaigned and had assisted, of course, and that's how I came to Baltimore area, back to the area again because I went to Towson. Yeah.
You just threw it out there about Michael. You talking about Michael Jackson?
Still, Michael Steele. I'm sorry. I came up in politics, so of course it was a natural attraction, and but Kendra was the one that discovered you. My daughter, you remember that she was the one, and she had I don't know why she was something about you that appealed to her, and she contacted you, and of course the rest is history. And you were in well, at that time it was an election cycle, so you were having events at with a black restaurant, and you were inviting the candidates in to talk, and you and Kendra, she used to do some interviews for you, and that's 19 years ago. So I've been knowing you, Donnie Glover, for a minute. Been a lot of children born since you and I have met. I say it like that. A lot of children born.
Where's your book? You got that book with you?
You know what? Where's my book? I don't know. I'm sitting at my place here without a book. I don't want to get up.
Yeah, I'm gonna take you
I'll go
off.
get one for you, but my book.
I'm gonna take you off. I'm gonna take you off screen so you can go get the book.
Thank you.
Okay, so our guest today is Dr. Jackie B, and this show is intended to be a treat for you. Mr. Bernard won $20 there last night. He was able to tell us some Black Wall Street history. Robert DeShield came out. I was telling you, Juanita Bass came out from Macio's. She and her husband. Macio's, of course, over that 2100 block of Monroe Street. A lot of nice people. Sean Stinnett, Lisa Hodges, attorney Lisa Hodges came out. Paul Taylor. And it was just wonderful to support all generations. The Tendia family came out, East Baltimore zone. What's up? Entrepreneurs of all ages, and some soon to be acknowledged. We honored the door also. Okay, here we go. All right, you back there?
I'm back. Let me put my camera back here. Yeah, I didn't have that far to go. We're just around the corner in my study. So,
All right, so go ahead and share with them. Tell them about your book, and I'm gonna go clean
oh my
my
God, this is the book you said that you rediscovered. Announced Proverbs is a collection of my mother's sayings, and this is what's gotten me through life. I'm not saying I'm all this and I'm all that, but let me just say these are the things that got me through life. And there's not a day that goes by that there's not something in that my mother has shared in one of her proverbs that does not apply. And I call it today a Black person's guide to survival in America. It's just that deep. If you read it, it sounds simple. Deep information and strategy, life strategy approaches here in Naomi's Proverbs. So words that make sense, a Black mother speaks. Now, I thought I'd add that so you know this is not coming from anybody. Can you hear me? Okay. Okay. Donnie?
I told you I had to go clean my glasses. You gotta listen to me.
Can you hear me?
I hear you loud and clear. I told you I had to go clean my glasses.
Oh, I didn't know where you. No, I didn't hear you say that. So I'm 67, so I didn't hear you say that.
First
But
thing you're going is the hearing, huh?
oh yeah, So, but if you living on the Eastern Shore really does give you a very unique perspective on race.
Why?
Well, because it's so much in your face. Um, that and it's a part of it's just a part of your being. However, my parents didn't raise me to give into it. So but doesn't mean that I can't see it, I don't understand it. They had a business, so we were taught very early in life, that we had to be able to interact with everybody, and race barred. um
What kind of
but it
business?
was very segregated. Everybody was segregated. It was, your own black community in my little town of Allen, Maryland. We had black and white, blacks on one side of the town. When I say town, an urban person, I want you to understand a town is like, um, every house sits on several acres of town. Okay. All right. So if you walk a mile, and let's say a mile and a half, maybe you pass by 10 houses on one side of the road, and maybe 10 on the other, kind of five. It's just very sparse living, but that's country life, and that's normal. So you don't have a lot of neighbors. uh,
You
um,
got you got dogs and a shotgun also.
Oh yeah, hunting is a part of country life. Yeah, hunting is a part of country life. I picked up a gun to learn how to shoot little practice stuff when I was a little girl. So I have five brothers though. So, um, but you raised with that, and the worlds were so separate. I do remember the days of whites only, black only type events on the Eastern Shore, going to the movie theater, and you had to go sit upstairs and couldn't sit down in the bottom, and of course the schools were very much segregated. And yes, okay,
We've had the same experience here in Baltimore.
yeah,
Only
yeah.
difference is the backdrop is urban.
Oh, gotcha. So,
Segregation is segregation. Whether
well,
it's
yeah, but then
urban,
but then we integrated. We integrated in 1962 in Wacomico County. So I'm sorry, 67. So from the time I started fifth grade forward.
you said 67. It had to be an event that caused this integration. I mean,
Come
here,
on, Brown versus Board of Ed.
well, I thought that was much earlier.
That was passed in 55. But
Yeah.
people, when we actually integrated schools in Wacomico County, it was in 1967. And
So is that the deal? Is
but
that one? Is that one of the differences between urban and rural?
let me explain.
Hold up now. Let me get my question out.
Okay, baby. Okay, I'm listening.
Is it that change tends to happen slower in rural areas versus urban? Change is slower to come.
There was a time before technology, then that would have definitely been true. But now the world is so open that things, when it happens in Baltimore today, when I don't care whether there's a cultural change, I don't care what it is, a political change, it's you hear about it, you know about it because of technology. So there was a day, it's just this concept of being backwards, I guess, coming from the rural area, and I think even
I wouldn't say backwards.
But no, the difference. Let me explain something though. What I wanted to say, was, but when we integrated schools and where I came from, I went from a 100% all black environment, which schools still exist in Baltimore City. Basically, we don't have that to us being the minority, going from being a majority school in the school, everybody black, principal, everybody, to being like 21%, 25% of the population, of student population. So we went from being majority to being minority, because we're only 22% in Wacomico County are black people. So we are minority anyway in our county. So So that was
What
it
was
was an
better?
enemy.
What was better, all black or minority?
I wouldn't say. Well, of course, I enjoyed all black. It's very, very. You make very, very special connections, and it's like, and the whole culture is different. It it it's just that you feel different. When I went to when we after integration,
Oh,
I felt that I just always like learning. I always so school was never in problems with me. Let me say that at first. So I didn't go to from black to white and have any academic problems, but it was just a chance to sit in the classroom, observe them,
what
get
did
to
you
know
like better,
them.
woman? All black or
I
minority?
can't say. I learned. Now
I
what I did now, no, listen to me. And I know that we lost our way after integration because we wanted that white ice so badly that we gave up our black culture so that we were so happy to be in
so
the
the
same
old way
room.
was better. The old way was better.
The old way was better. We had our own everything. I mean, you can't.
Baltimore. Let me speak. This is my
Go
show.
ahead. Okay.
When Martin O'Malley came, he brought with him Andres Alonso as the school superintendent. And one thing Alonso did was got rid of 75% of the principals.
Mm,
If you ask me, those were the remaining black educators from that era
gotcha.
where black teachers love black students. And so now, Baltimore City public schools, the educators are no longer so black. There's a
This is
lot of
true.
white women and other people from other communities. And the problem, the inherent problem, the innate problem is their lack of understanding of black people. So where Miss Nottingham or Miss Parks knew how to deal with a rather aggressive young black boy,
Oh, yeah.
people who don't understand you are quick to try to put your child on Ritalin and make you feel guilty if you don't sign off on it.
You, Tiny, I'm right there with you. Okay, I'm right there with you.
That's what I've
Like,
seen.
listen, now let me sit down. What you just said, sit down. Uh, before I became a certified teacher, Baltimore City Public School System is my last little career thing I was working on. I wanted to be a school superintendent. Let me just say that. That's what went on and got my doctorates. I was shocked when I went inside Baltimore City Public School System. First of all, soon because it is a predominantly black city, that all the staff would also be predominantly black. So, and I was so shocked when I saw that I'm just all these white teachers, all these white teachers. And I was teaching elementary school. And what I also learned, Donnie, from teaching, and I'm saying this for the public, if you want to really help in education, get in those early years. Get in those early years. Get in before they get to second grade. Okay, because everything that they need to carry them forward in life educationally occurs before the second grade. Okay, so
Before
they
they're 8 years
behind.
old.
Yeah,
Before they're 8 years old.
yes. Do you
You
know?
only
I
have
don't know.
7
Yeah,
years. You have less than 7 years to save your child.
it's just about. But in Maryland, they use the
Because
third grade test scores.
by seven, they put them in special ed faster than a Baltimore speed camera. Got your kid on Ritalin,
Yeah,
special assignments. They got your child ready for prison by age 7. They know who's going to prison and they know who's
they
going to
do.
college by
They
age
do it
7.
based on yes by 8, but they
So,
do it
so
based on
parents,
reading scores.
so parents can act ignorant if they want, but they're already building prisons for your child right now.
Yeah, yeah, and don't
Based,
fight the school
based,
system.
based on what they do by the age of 7.
The test scores. If you can't, they figure by the time you're in third grade, and if you can't read, you're going to prison. And they build prison beds based on third grade test scores. So you need to look at not only the front end of where when you first give birth, you need to get your child ready. From the time you know you're pregnant, you need to be working with your baby, honey, because the system you get in there, and it's for most people. Come on, it's a job.
You should be working with your child, not at the happy hour, not worrying about the Ravens, not learning a TikTok dance.
No, you better be in there.
Working with your child, the PTA. We should know the teachers, the principal by name, have more speed dial. We should know the educators like some people know the Ravens.
Well, I'm telling you, people's lives are shaped inside those classrooms, and people's futures are determined inside those classrooms.
And Cardi B, we should know these educators. We should know their names better than we know the celebrities' names.
Oh, okay. Well, you know, you're preparing the next generation. No, we say that it's a cliche, but you actually are. And I know when I was when I taught fourth grade mostly. So when they came to me, I tried to make sure they had a toolkit for survival through life, in addition to information, you know. So, but yeah, and one difference between, even like I said, in the rural, what you just said, and I'll never forget my first day of school, Donnie, of integration. And you're so right. I've been in school, all these black boys and everything, and the teachers always dealt with them, and nobody was going in and out of the classroom. Nobody was sitting by to the principal's office, but they could also beat us back then, so they had a little bit more authority to keep you in line.
Them Catholic nuns was beating people, ain't nobody say nothing. Some of them Catholic priests was sexually abusing people.
Wow.
So you know.
Well, they did that, and it was okay. They didn't hit us, beat up. I mean, I would get hit in the head, but you know. But I remember the first day of school.
No pass here. Taking advantage of little kids.
They, the first day of school, this guy been, you know, the one from Tina Allen, and I mean, I never forget. The teacher was walking by, a homeroom teacher, and he just kind of put his foot out, and she tripped. She swore up and down he did it on purpose. Next thing I know, she's sitting this little boy, he was in 5th grade, out of the classroom to the principal's office because she said he tried to hurt me. Okay, and I was watching it, and he just shifted.
Allowing other people to tell our story. We went through that last night. We discussed that when we, and I know this is a little boy, but you got to defend yourself at all times. This is America. Protect yourself at all times. If you're black and in America, protect yourself at all times.
Yeah.
And that little boy didn't know what was going on, but he was on his way to the penitentiary. That little boy needed a lawyer.
Mm-hmm.
He damn near needed a lawyer.
You talked about black people when you don't go to court without an attorney.
Do not go to court without a lawyer. But we also got to know our legal powers, our legal rights, because she was setting him up for life. Oh, okay, go ahead. Tell me what happened.
Oh, anyway, I'm just saying that. So you talk about the shift, and it does matter, and who's at the helm. Because we went from a black teacher that would have said, even if it happened, would have said, "Boy, put your foot back in," and kept it moving. Okay, she saw this as a threat. And long story short, this boy eventually never even finished high school because he got kicked out along the way.
Right.
But day one.
Because of their fear.
Yeah. Yeah.
And the fear is real. Not because their father or their grandfather or their great-grandfather or their great-great-great-grandfather was a racist. That's not why. The problem is they sucked in that crap from their ancestors and are carrying it on today. So if you were so afraid of what these black people would do to you, then why do you keep treating black people so poorly?
Because they are afraid of us.
And I didn't realize that some white women are afraid of black women. Did you know that?
Mm-hmm. You know, I'm gonna
Blew
say
my
this.
mind. I'm like, really?
Well, you know what? Some of us,
Hold up. Also, they admire you. Some white women
because we're so
admire.
feisty.
I wouldn't use the word feisty. Beyond feisty is strength. It's strength.
Yes, strength. That's
Power.
what all that comes together.
But it's also fear. I'm just gonna keep it 100 with you.
Okay.
Fear that the white man like you better than her.
Well, he does. He's just he's afraid of his money. He's afraid that to be attached to us publicly. I'll tell you something. I was a manager at Radio Shack for 3 years in Cambridge, Maryland. And I'm not going to say anything, but I'm just going to say I received quite a number of propositions, and they're for people who did not look like me. Okay, and it did not matter.
Shay would
In
take it all
Cambridge.
over you.
Yes. So then I said, you know what? This must be a current. This must be something that happens on a regular basis. These white men propositioning black females on the down low. And I talked to some people that live. They said, yeah, it's a common occurrence. So if it's happening in Cambridge, Maryland, back then,
Well, this might not be talked about, but people are human, and just like white men
and we're beautiful.
are attracted to black women, there are white women attracted to black men. I don't care how racist the sheriff is or your daddy was. When them hormones get to jumping, the hormones get to jumping. So that's when you get Emmett Till.
You think in the sense that she claimed he never touched.
Whatever. That's when you get Tulsa's Black Wall Street. Do you know that riot broke out because
same thing.
a white woman said this black man raped her? The story goes on. And make sure. Thank you for getting a copy of I Am Black Wall Street.
I do. Look.
Thank you for supporting this.
Always, Donnie. You're out there.
In Tulsa, the same couple that they say, you know, they said the guy was
in the elevator. I talked about she was in the elevator or whatever. It was just a lie.
Let me finish.
Oh, I thought you were asking me to interject. Okay.
They got married.
Who got married?
The same couple that they said the black man raped the white woman. They got married. Tulsa, you dropped a bomb on me. You didn't know that?
No, and you know that's where the second half of my DNA comes from. Well, it was a lie. It came out. It was a lie, of course. After that, and dropped bombs and everything, and totally destroyed. She said, 30 blocks of a business community.
I guess that's a point of pride. No man wants to know his daughter was raped, but it's also a lie.
That was a lie.
But they knew that's the one thing that would get a white mob going. That is the topic.
That
white woman, look at a white woman. Boy, don't look, I'm not your boy.
Yeah. Like the white woman was the source of their stuff. Yeah.
We'd had a problem, Donnie Glover. And I want to make this very important point that we shared last night. Not all black people were slaves.
Right. Well, I know that.
And not
my
all
ancestors. Yeah.
And not all white people were free.
They were slaves too.
You damn Skippy.
And they came here, and you were not from England or France. You came here as a low-class citizen.
English came here as criminals too. Rapists, murderers that were kicked out. You go on over there to North America.
Yeah. Same thing with Australia.
Nobody knew where they were going. These are people running away. That's just like if a new land was discovered, and it can't be because everything's been discovered. And then all of a sudden, people start flocking there. Like in our community, people flock into Charlotte, people flock into Atlanta. But you get down there and find out, oh, I didn't know this. And now you know, but you're there. What you going to do?
Well, there's nothing easy under the sun. I don't care where you live.
There's nothing new under the son. Stop
And
chasing.
then there's nothing new. Yeah, of course, never nothing new. I always say easy too, because everything that's
You
worth
can't
anything
change the
takes effort.
Bible.
So what?
Read your book, lady. Come on, give me some Proverbs.
Oh, you want some proverbs? Let me
I
see.
did
You want
not
to talk
drink
about,
enough
let's
coffee
see,
today.
relationship, education, and what? Let's talk about, how about this? We talked about this. This is relevant for last night also. The white man needed my labor and I needed a paycheck. Understand the dynamics. Don't go in there thinking you got to kiss up. He can't or she can't run because this is coming from the 50s and the 60s, okay? He can't run his business unless you're in there working. Know your worth. Okay, know your worth. It's what she that's the talk there. He can't run his business unless out there working. Okay, know your place. So, this is now I'm telling you, also relevant to the business community. When you go to ask a white man for money, always ask for more than what you need because it's only going to give you enough to get into trouble.
Now, what you mean by get into trouble?
You always run short. If I come to you and say, I need $1 million in my business, and you decide, I think you can make it on $250,000. Now, I just told you I need $1 million. So and then you give me a quarter or half of what I asked for, you're preparing me for failure. So I know I need $1 million. Then you say, I need 3 million. I need 4 million. Because it's never going to give you enough to really try to boost you along in life. I mean, we're in America. Let's get real. Okay, you go and ask for one, he's going to give you maybe a quarter of that. So you ask for more always. I mean, they ran a business.
Have you ever been to the Africa or the Middle East?
I have been privileged to
Yes,
go to
no.
Kenya.
Okay.
Well, to Kenya. Yeah.
So in a lot of those countries, it's always a bargaining. You don't pay the first price that you see.
Oh, okay. The bartering.
Yeah. Bargaining.
Okay, yes.
Same thing in America. But I understand, like right now, I've had to increase my prices for advertising. But you have people who may have been with you a long time. And so you may not go up as much on them. Of course not. You're going to take care of the people who've been there with you from the beginning. And shout out to Mr. Raymond V. Haysbert. He was one of my, if not my first advertiser. Him, Zone. This is our 20th year in business. I wanted you to know that our very dear friend Corey has a vegan restaurant in New Orleans.
Oh, okay. Well, no. Oh, okay. When we visited New Orleans last, we did get a chance to visit with him. And that's good to know because New Orleans, of course, is a special city. There's no place on earth like it. But wow, we went to see him then. He was beginning his vegan thing and he had lost all this weight. And he just said what he was doing. And we were still meat eaters, which we still are, less so, but he still took us to some little community highlights. You know how you got the little, hole in the wall where the best food is.
He'll give you the tour. One of the places he took me to in New Orleans was a place called Exhibit B. And imagine some projects that had been abandoned and graffiti artists and other artists had taken over the whole complex inside and out, and they just painted the projects. Exhibit B, it was the most beautiful artwork ever, right there. Exhibit B, New Orleans. They call it New Orleans. He's over there across the water, across the Mississippi, the mighty Mississippi. Okay, come on, share some more, because we only got 18 minutes.
Oh, okay. Well, all right. Oh, now, okay. I just popped the one that's on relationships. I don't know if I want to read this one.
Yeah, read it. Don't be shy now.
Every time we made friends with a couple, the woman would always end up trying to sleep with my husband. Now, true. Now, my dad was a fine man. He was a business owner. The community. Up whatever. But that let me know the message there is don't be too trusting of people when it comes to your relationships. Then don't let anybody in, and just know that people are going to try to get in. People that are friends with you are going to try to get in the middle of your
Ain't my
relationship.
damn friend. I ain't got no friends in that department. Oh yeah, we ain't all that. Hey.
Yeah, and at the same
No,
time,
you can't come in. No, stay out there. We come out there and see you.
she goes, marriage is just an understanding between two people. It can be a very beautiful thing. It's all that it is, an understanding between two people. Okay. And then at the same token, if you F it up, I'm gonna tell you this. Okay, can you well, I get that in a minute. Always dress nice so your husband will get used to you leaving home fixed up. So ladies, always look nice
You
when you
gotta
leave
repeat
the
that.
house.
You gotta repeat that. Repeat
So
that.
what you
Repeat, please.
always dress nice. Read this statement. Always dress nice so your husband will get used to you leaving home fixed up. You might say, well, okay.
Oh no, I totally get it. You gotta
Yeah.
keep him interested.
Yes, yes. Men act like you ain't never supposed to get tired. And this is probably why. Did you know? I just learned this year.
That's a harsh generalization.
But listen to this stuff. Listen,
We
I didn't know that the
traumatized.
major cause of marriage is ending is it's not fair labor in the house. Men, this old notion that women supposed to do everything in the home is causing marriages to end. You sitting the woman gotta go under bacon too. Come home and with you both out under the bacon. Come home. She got to take on this additional role of the house. But we both making the bacon, and we both are tired. And let me anyway. I was gonna say
You're supposed to work together.
exactly. And this is this notion, this man woman thing. I had no idea, Donnie, until really just recently that marriages have been ending over this.
Of
Okay,
roles,
chores.
man.
Chores and stuff in the house.
Okay, let me help you out. All my mother's all my mother's boys could wash, cook, sew, and clean. And my daddy said the same thing.
Mhm.
I can wash, I can cook, I can sew, and I
Women,
can clean.
listen up.
Hey, can women wash, cook, can women sew? Can women sew today? I mean, even if it's some stitch witchery for your hems, I mean, but I learned home economics. I mean,
Yeah.
but not everybody knows these things. Not some people can't boil water.
Right. Well, let's see, but then you're talking about your cultural upbringing. Okay. We talk about the parenting that took place in your home. Okay. And we know as you get older that all that differs from house to house to house to house. So you were blessed with parents that, they knew the importance of preparing you for life beyond.
I was blessed. Let me ask
Yeah.
you this on that note. It wasn't until I was in my 40s that I realized so many of my peers did not have fathers in the house.
Wow.
What was your experience there in Salisbury, Wycomico?
And Allen, everybody, it was the exception not to have a man in the house.
So it was normal.
Everybody was married. Two-parent families is all I've basically known.
Were people on welfare?
There were during the early years. No, everybody had to work to earn their money. Okay.
You don't work, you don't eat.
You don't work, don't eat, and that's why I come from a community of entrepreneurs. You had to earn your money to make it. You had to earn your money at the time, before all this integration stuff. But we couldn't have no white jobs working in these stores and all like these factories and stuff. No, we could have it. You had to figure out a way to make your money. They didn't want us around at all.
A young man was telling me about men in California on the West Coast, Portland, Oregon, Seattle, who stay home and the woman goes to work.
I don't see anything wrong with that, with the role reversal. So as we call a role reversal.
Well, there ain't
Okay.
no role reversal. This is called pimping.
Oh, wait, stop. What you talking about? Wait a minute.
Dude stay home, watch TV or whatever the hell else he do. And the woman go to work and dude come back and she come back home and carry on like she was home all day.
Okay.
Straight pimping.
Okay. So
And there are some people that is their lifestyle.
it is. It is. How about this? Let's look at it from a very basic level. How about this, Lottie? You just said something to make this. A light bulb went off. Go ahead. A light bulb went off when you said what you just said.
That's a pimp.
Well, yeah, because how many, in the context and how you define it, how many women, how many of us have taken care of men over the years in the sense
I'm talking about that part right there. See,
yeah.
I don't need you to take care of me. I'm going to take care of me. If you were taking care of me, I mean, unless I had some type of abnormality, disability, or something like that, what's wrong with me? I can't get up and work.
Well, now we know of course we don't know why.
But in
we don't know
regular
why
scenario,
yeah.
I need to be making my own money.
Well, I believe in that.
And I want to encourage you to make your own money. And if you make more than me, I'm happy for you. I'm not intimidated by that.
Right. I feel you. I'm the same way. If you do good, I'm happy.
Just
because what
treat
God
me
has
the
for
same
me,
way,
for me. And when he asks for you, he asks for you. We gotta work together and support each other, not apart.
Now,
because
I ain't talking about being the woman putting on her pants and start running the show like if somebody break in, then I'm gonna send you on downstairs to handle that. Since you all in charge.
It's still about a balance. It's still about a balance in the home. Okay. The woman it's about a balance.
I don't mind you making more. I encourage you.
Yeah.
Don't
You will be intimidated.
Don't act like me.
Right? Well, yeah. It is all about.
I mean, there's scenarios, especially in Black America. Black women are doing very well. Black America is not white America. Don't apply those standards from over there
to
over here.
Right. Yeah.
In our community, Black women are doing extremely well. Black women are more likely to be employed than Black men.
Well, we're in this area. We're in the area where Black people make more money than anywhere else in America. But we got to think about that too. Baltimore, DC, it's true. There are more of us that make six figures here than almost as Black women. The Baltimore City is on the list of the cities where Black women make a lot of money. So the money is here.
The challenge is treating each other with the same kindness and respect, and not taking on, not acting as if white America really accepts us, because that's what a lot of us want. A lot of us really want to be accepted by white America. They will never accept us. Stop thinking something ridiculous. Accept yourself.
Yeah, well, let's start with that first.
Let's start with that.
Love yourself first. Okay. Okay, let's start with that first, and because then if you understand that dynamic, you will really move forward fast in life. Okay.
Tell me about the church. And did you have any Muslims down there?
I never knew anything about Muslims growing up. The church that I went to, my ancestors actually physically built it. And the first one in the 1850s, and then they tore that one down. And the one that stands today was erected in 1890 by my ancestors. Oh, but United Methodists down on the Eastern Shore, believe it or not, Eastern Shore, one of the only places on the planet where Black United Methodists are more than Black Baptists.
Okay, did y'all sing songs?
Of course, we sang songs. You mean United Methodist Church?
Like what?
Pick up a hymnal book.
So did y'all sing the white version or the Black version?
Oh, that's what you want to know.
Yeah.
Right. Just say United Methodist version, No. As we got
it was like collard greens without no meat in it.
No, I would say that. I would say that, 'cause you still had the radio. People could listen to radio. We knew about all the
What
top guys.
song did your grandmama sing down there? What was her song in the kitchen?
My dad's favorite song
One,
was "I
see,
Found
take
It."
it
I
to
don't
me.
know. My
One
dad's
day
favorite
when
song
I
was
was
"I Found the
lost.
Answer."
Huh?
But my dad's favorite song was "I Found the Answer."
Sing it.
Answer. I'm not a singer, but by Mahalia Jackson, I found the answer when I learned to pray.
I
If God
found
beside me to lead the way.
Come on, hum the song, woman.
That's not the dad's favorite song. I'm not no singer. You need Kendrick here for all of that. Yeah, I found the answer
You
when
are
I learned to pray.
spouting.
With God beside me, I used to sing that song like that. That's my favorite. That was my dad's
Come on,
favorite
sing the
song.
song.
I'm not singing
I found the answer. How it go?
it. When I learned to pray.
How'd it go? Hum
With,
it.
I found the answer. Wait a minute. With God beside me, I learned to pray.
Clearly, you have not sang that song in a while.
I
One day when I was lost, Jesus died on the cross.
Oh,
And
you
in
want
my
those
mind, I'm really
spiritual?
saying, my ancestors died on the cross. I knew it was the blood of my ancestors.
I ain't no songs like that growing up, but I know. What's his name? Tinley, the
See,
guy. I don't know anything about.
see, y'all got a little bougie down there. You know, them songs was how we gave each other information
Yes, you want
on
to
the
know? You
escape.
know
Do you
what? Let me
know
share
the
something with you.
listen, I told you this is my show. Stop over
I
talking.
know.
Did I tell you that Harriet Tubman was from the Eastern Shore?
Why would I not know that? And I'm from the Eastern Shore, and
Okay, so do you know the story of her getting her freedom and going
you can
back
tell.
to get her going back to get her husband?
And he didn't want to come.
And he took up with another woman.
He was another woman. They didn't
And
stop her though.
I wanted to remain on the plantation.
And he was a free man.
But he
He was
wanted to
free.
stay.
Yeah. He was a free man. He wasn't even a slave. But he was a slave in his mind.
He was. And Harriet found out the sucker that he was.
Yeah.
He rolled out.
But it didn't stop her work.
No, it did not. That part right there. That part right there.
Mm-hmm.
That's why she my hero.
Mm-hmm.
And
Well,
she
and to
went
risk her
on
life.
and kept freeing people. Ultimately, and this is where me and Mr. Mark Zuckerberg have a problem, because his staff of people came to me and said that I can't put on Facebook that she freed 1,000 slaves. And I said, y'all can't count. They said, well, she only freed 72 slaves. And I said, well, clearly, Mr. Zuckerberg, you didn't do your homework, son. And I told him about what happened at the Kumbaya River in South Carolina, where with the help of the Union Army, Harriet Tubman helped free over 700 people at one time.
Oh, gotcha. Okay.
They don't want to mess with me, and that's what I was sharing last night. We have to know our own history, because the people who've been trying to tell us don't even know theirs. A lot of us black people don't know that we are the original Hebrews. Always have been.
Yeah.
I'll take it a step further. Did you know that Santa Claus was a black man? Look it up. St. Nicholas, black man in Turkey. You know something.
Well, yeah, I know he originated in those parts of the world.
Some people ain't giving
Turkey Day, I understand, is very beautiful. Maybe we need to travel there one day. This is a very beautiful country.
Is the headquarters of the Ottoman Turk Empire, the most recent empire to rule the world.
Yeah, the Ottomans. Mm-hmm.
That's when the Moors dominated Spain and Portugal for 800 years.
Mm-hmm. And why they're so dark today?
Because their great-great-granddaddy black.
So you don't have to go back that many generations. See where that little undercurrent and darkness comes from, and those peoples that are so close to the African continent. So, but yeah, yeah, racism. I understand. I see it a mile away. I hear it a mile away. I feel that, to me, and some people, we all had different callings in life, and I feel that yes. Go ahead.
Matthew Henson was from your neck of the woods.
I thought he was just from Central Maryland. He's from
Calvin
the Eastern.
County.
Which
Calvin
one?
County. Calvin.
Oh, okay, that's Midshore. That's Eastern area.
Matthew Alexander Henson, the first man to reach the North Pole. And it was a Baltimore man, Dr. Herbert Frisbee, who ensured that Matthew Henson, whom I believe is Taraji Henson's relative, made sure he got credit because white America did not want to give this black man credit. They tried to say it was Admiral Byrd, but he couldn't go no farther because he had frostbite. He was dead in the water.
Oh.
It was a black man from the Eastern Shore.
Well, I didn't know. When I met his family, they were from Howard County. I don't even, and they never mentioned anything about the Eastern Shore. When I met his family,
well, tell them go to Wikipedia because it's
they
all.
might not know. You know, people don't know. They don't even research your own family history. You don't even know.
I shared that last night that we have to get with grandma. If we still have our grandmothers, grandfathers, great grandparents, we have to get with them, record that information, and put it in your Quran, put it in your Bible, put it in your holy book, so that you can share it with the next generation.
You better, because life is changing so rapidly that it's even hard for us. You think about what we have lived through, Donnie, and if you haven't documented, there's so many things that happen. It was almost possible to recall it. So much has happened in our lifetimes, you know? So you're right. People need to start documenting this. Don't trust that you're going to remember this. And then, interesting tale was even with my daughters. It's a bit of information, you know, because I have my family from Oklahoma. That her father's family had been missing. Didn't know it, but I knew it. But I didn't know it was a missing piece of information, if that makes sense. It was something they been looking for 40 years. It couldn't make a connection. But just by talking to the ancestors before they passed, I had this information. But I didn't know I had the information. It was just in a conversation and I shared it with Kendra, so she shared it with her family, and they're like, you knew this. For 40 years, it is important to talk to your ancestors.
I want to share this with you about the Muslims. Did you see the movie Amistad?
Yeah.
In the movie Amistad, they had Muslims on that boat because they were praying.
You know what? I tell you, the country, you're right. There's some slowdown in culture, particularly back then. I remember when the first person in our community that left, my generation, came back and had married a Muslim. And I saw that. My oldest daughter lived to be 104 before she died, and I loved every minute with her. And so no one didn't know anything about that. But so when she came back to church, you know, I met the church and her head wrap on and everything, of course, and it changed her name. And you know, we're looking at her like she's from Mars. But I mean, nothing disrespectful, but it was unusual for us. Yes.
Y'all just hadn't been exposed.
We had not been exposed. I had, but now in terms of religion and spirituality, half my family decided to go with the Church of God in Christ. I spent a lot of my time, when I wasn't busy in my own church, I spent my other church time in
music.
Well, come on, Church of God in Christ was always highly spiritual. You know, foot stomping, clapping, you know that.
Did
you
they
already
do somersaults?
So what?
Did they do somersaults?
But not back then, okay?
I saw it in the Blues Brothers. They were doing somersaults.
No, I never saw anybody get that far, but they can get that happy. They can get that happy. So yeah, but the
instruments. Next thing you know, normally you see a piano and a guitar. Next thing you know, them people come out with tubas, trombones, trumpets.
Well, you use what you have.
They jamming up in there. Oh, we got a full orchestra.
Well, you know, it was a big thing to even go from having to have a drum in the church or even playing the guitar in the church. Those are big changes. Okay.
Depending on one's exposure.
Yes. Yeah, but you come
into religion is highly political.
I remember when we
you don't realize it. Even the chessboard shows us that right next to the king and queen are two bishops. Okay, I'm gonna give you a minute to wrap up and let you say whatever you want. And then we got to go. Okay.
Well, Donnie, I thank you again for your work and bringing the truth to light, because not many people are willing to really just speak the truth. So I appreciate that. And I didn't know that I was coming on today to talk about Naomi Proverbs, but and maybe I will consider re-releasing it, because we still need help. We still need to understand how to overcome racism, how to deal with it. And this book will give you insight how to deal with that by focusing on yourself, your life, and the decisions that you should be worried about, and to move your life forward and to deal with the system. If you live in America, you can't get away from racism. It's a hateful thing. It's an evil thing. But it doesn't have to stop you from having a very productive, happy, bountiful life. Learn what it is. Learn the rules. Deal with it. Live your life. Live your life. Live your life.
How can people get in touch with you? You don't want no damn contact. Tell them call me. Okay, good enough.
All right. Thank
Have a
you.
good day. Thank you for joining us. Good morning, world.